Hello. So we have Ethereum options coming to a close this month, right? And it looks like the bears are going to be taking the win here. And if they do, we're looking for more downside after. Okay. So it's not going to be a great scenario for everybody. We are going to start off with this though. Let's just have a quick look at what we're seeing. Not too much action over the past couple of days, as you can see, down by 1%, 2.5% for Bitcoin, Ethereum, respectively. XRP could be massive though. I'm going to get into why, but it looks like the SEC might fold and realize that they actually made a massive mistake here. But we have a little bit of bad news, okay? Currently, we're looking at the Bitcoin chart. As you can see here, people are generally calling for a below 14K bottom, okay? So we're not quite there yet. What I do anticipate is we're going to jump in and out of this range here. As you can see, we're kind of holding this support line. It's more of a trend line to the downside. So we are really respecting this. And then there is that general bottom of around about 15.5K. So once we get down to these levels, I'll be looking for a potential breakout, a retest, and then potentially a short opportunity, maybe with a stop loss just above this trend line, just to keep ourselves safe. And obviously, we're not going to jump into that yet until we have some verification. But I'm going to move on. FTX. The saga continues, my friends. With the court's approval, our first day's motions, we are moving forward as expeditiously as possible in our efforts to maximize value for all FTX stakeholders. So this comes, the court filings reveal that the bankrupt exchange was was guaranteed to pay its critical vendors, only the most critical ones, up to 85 million, £8.5 million or dollars, upon authorization from its chief exec. We've been hearing talks of them being like 9 billion or $10 billion. How long is this going to take? How long is this going to take? If you're only going to, dosh out 8.5 million, you're going to take an awfully long time, and also, guys, in the previous live, I've got a cut here, so I put some cream on it, and I just realized it looked really weird. So anyway, but Tron founder, our favorite guy, Justin Sun, and crypto payments company Ripple have hinted they could be interested in purchasing FTX assets. I mean, look, they've got like a good exchange. You can, discuss or debate the back doors and everything like this. Is it going to be trustworthy? But buying up some of the assets, some of the company assets that they have, i.e., some of the crypto they own, etc., etc. Now, well, a lot of it's been hacked and stolen. Go on, Sam, you cheeky dog. He got and stolen his own money. Right, it wasn't never his, but he treated it like his own. So we do have some interest, but I think this is just far too slow. And I am going to make a separate video about Binance doing a massive cash grab. Okay, they're opening up this industry fund, and they pledged $1 billion. Okay, but it's all in BUSD, so it's like, hey, hey, I've got an emergency fund. It's like a loan, yeah. Give me interest. I think that's the way it's going to go, and they're going to be the one monopoly, pretty much, in the industry market, in the crypto industry, I should say. But we do also have the Avengers Director bringing FTX miniseries to Amazon, which is quite cool. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's just like this is going to be quite a fun, quite a fun video to watch, or mini series to watch, just to see how it's all unfolded. This is the stuff that you can't really make this up. Going from a massive hero who's so generous with all of his money to suddenly now being like, oh, let's make a TV series about how much of a scammer he was. But I do have one more bit of good news. Sorry. Belgium says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other decentralized coins are not securities. When we don't like being classed as securities. I think it's more of a commodity. And this is kind of going to bring me on to the XRP case. Okay. So the XRP case, as you can see, we've known it's run on for ages. We know it's coming to a close. But XRP bulls raised the price target to 0.45 cents, which is actually really cool. We like this. This is good news. But just looking down here, with the SEC having made numerous attempts to shield the documents under attorney-client privilege, suggestions of the documents reaching the public domain could face the SEC to reconsider its position in the case and look for a settlement. We want them to settle. We want them to be like, look, okay, let's just have an agreement. You just can, you say that you messed up in some way and we still look like we've got to win, but secretly no one's got to win. It's because XRP got absolutely slammed when this came out. And that's why I don't think XRP will necessarily settle, but also a win or a settlement would be great for the price of XRP. And so, it's all just focusing around the Hinman documents. So William Hinman, he was basically the guy who said Ethereum is not a security because they got taken to court. It's not a security, and he's an ex-SEC employee, and he's like, yeah, then it's not security, everything's fine. And then the SEC come after Ripple a couple of years later, and everyone's like, wait, hang on a sec. But 3 years ago, the SEC, William Hinman, said it's not a security. So how are you now saying it's a security? I just don't get it. But I'm going to move into some bad news. Keep it going quite quickly. MetaMask. So that's made by Consensus. Consensus is owned by JP Morgan. Like not entirely, but JP Morgan had a very, very heavy interest, right? And they bought a lot of it because obviously they want to get involved in the centralized part of the decentralized world. I.e. owning Consensus, which basically builds everything. Okay, so the Infura collecting MetaMask users' IP. So Infura is a tool. Let me see if I have an exact definition. API-based tool that allows users to connect their application to the Ethereum network. Now, this basically, it just kind of goes through like the idea of decentralization is that no one knows who you are. You can buy, sell Bitcoin. People know the wallet, but they don't know who it belongs to. If they have your wallet and they have your IP address, then they have your home address, or pretty much as close to, and that's pretty much as close to a digital fingerprint as they're going to need in order to be able to still keep tabs. So this whole, I guess it's almost a bit of a delusion about full decentralization. It's not going to happen, and I think this is one of the first things we're going to see, pretty much as being a case of, look, you can have your decentralization, you can have your cryptocurrencies, but us, the big boys who already run the system, JP Morgan, government, etc., they're always going to find a way to get involved in your projects. Okay, it's just going to happen. It's going to happen. So it's not great, it's not great. So Infura was first acquired by New York Blockchain, a New York-based blockchain firm in late 2019. The tool now boasts 350,000 devs. Pretty cool. And they also support Polygon and Filechain. Okay, and so. I love how they've had to, that is actually jokes. Consensus is one of 22 strategic investors in Decrypt. They've had to put that in there. They've had to put it in there. But they're making updates, okay? So basically, whenever you use this, your IP address will be taken, and I'm pretty sure you'll just be put into a system somewhere so that they know roughly a little bit more about you. And maybe it's a good thing because I think things like this are going to stop scams happening so much. We won't have as many scams. If there's a little bit more accountability, at the moment, it is a bit like the Wild West, but that's what innovators like. We like to just test things, break things, and see how things work out. And that's what's made crypto so good, because we've pretty much been able to do what we want. Yes, there are scams. Yes, there are bad things. But you have to, break a few eggs to make an omelet. It just happens, Another bit of news, which I want to wrap up on here, which is what I mentioned initially. Ether is testing 1,200, obviously broken below that now since this was published 9 hours ago, but bears better position for 1.13 billion options expiry on November 25th. And I'm just going to go down here. Furthermore, okay, let me go. I'm going to start with this. So a broader view, and you can see this is the put to call interest. So a put is like, hey, I'm going to sell this, or I'm going to put it to the market if someone wants to buy it. A call is like, hey, let me call up and buy a pizza. But we're not buying pizzas here, we're buying options. So you call up and you're like, hey, let me buy some options. So a lot of people are interested in buying as long as we hold a level of support and then are able to, see some potential upside. So people want to be buying around about that 1,700. But obviously, like, the price didn't get there. So they're just going to expire. Okay, they're going to expire. No one's actually going to call me, let me buy it at 1,700 when the price is at 1,000. Let me double check. 1,200 or less than that. And so anyway, a broader view using the 1.44 call to put ratio sees a skewed situation with bullish bets calls, open interest at 665 mil versus 460 mil put sell options. Nevertheless, with Ethereum currently hovering around 1,200, bears have a dominant position. Why is this important? What does this mean for us for next month, for example? So, for instance, if the Ether price remains below 1,250, which it will, only 40 million of these call buy options will be available. This difference happens because there is no one in the right to buy ether at these certain prices. Now, this is where I want to kind of bring in. If bears dominate the month of November, ETH monthly options expire. That will likely add firepower to further downside bets. Because if I said, look, I'm happy to buy at 1,700, I'm quite bullish. I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to go to like 2K. And then obviously, yes, I want the option to be able to buy at 1,700 because then I've instantly made $300. Fantastic. But looking at what we're seeing at the moment, it seems a lot of this is going to expire. And then people are going to be like, well, okay, I don't want to buy at 1,700 anymore. So my interest is going to be massively shifted this way. Okay. So we're all going to be betting on lower and lower Ethereum. So what are these self-serving systems? I do want to mention, though, a couple of other little points inside here. The Singapore-based cryptocurrency lender Hodlnaut is reportedly facing a police probe over allegations of cheating and fraud. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey, hey. Another one bites the dust. Also, ETH bulls seem out of luck since Bitcoin wallet related to the 2014 Mt. Gox hack moved 10,000 Bitcoin on November 23rd. Qi Young Zhu, the founder of blockchain analytics firm CryptoQuant, has verified the finding, noting that 0.6 of the funds were sent to exchanges and may indicate sell-side liquidity. Look, I mean, these guys are still making money. They bought it in 2014. The prices were nowhere near this level. So obviously they're making money, but if we see more capitulation, and especially selling at these levels, it's just really going to add to this further downside bets, as we're seeing here. And so I just want to, summarize this all with Muro Crypto. He said halving 2024, I should say. Look, halving 2020, we had like a drop just below then. So he's anticipating that we could see some drops and basically end up around about this level here, around 8K, following this trend line from 2014 right the way through, 19, 20, and then into 2024. So he's looking potentially over the next couple of years, seeing some more downside. I think that we're going to see a pretty sharp move to the downside, similar to something that we see here. A move to the downside in early stages 2023, but I think we will have a recovery. Something has to go really badly wrong at that stage because, look, like during 2020, we had COVID, okay? We've had so many different catalysts that have just been really, really bad. And now we're fighting interest rates and recessions, etc. I do think towards the end of 2023 or even halfway through, stock market will recover. Whether it's still going to be correlated to Bitcoin and to crypto is another question, but I do think we are going to see some kind of recovery. But anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like the video if you want to see more type of content. And also, thank you very much for joining.